Hey guys, today we are doing my second Dark Side hero guide, this time for Darth Maul, one of the most fun heroes in Battlefront 2. When used correctly, he can of course dominate, but you definitely do need to learn how to use him, because he isn't as strong as some of the other heroes. But once you learn the best star cards, ability combos, and all of his stats, you will be dominating. On screen now is everything we will be going over in this video. His stats, his abilities, tips for trooper game modes, and then finally tips for hero game modes. There's going to be a lot of info in this video, so if you're only interested in one part of this video, you can skip ahead using the timestamps. One last thing before we get into the video, leave a like if you enjoyed this video and also subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm almost at 200 subscribers, so let's get there by the end of March. Darth Maul has pretty average stats. Average health, average stamina, and average damage. The best thing about Maul's stats is his movement. He has some of the fastest speed of any character, and his dash can help him get around the map really quickly and get out of dangerous situations easily. Darth Maul has 700 health, which isn't bad, but it's a bit weak and he is a bit vulnerable. It can be improved by a star card that gives him 16% damage reduction to blasters, bringing his full health to 812, which is above average. His health regen is also the average lightsaber hero regen of 250, which means he is pretty weak when it comes to getting his health back. Darth Maul has two different lightsabers, but they do the same damage. That's 120 to the front and 150 damage to the back. That's not the highest damage, but he can still one-shot all infantry but the heavy to the back. Darth Maul's stamina is pretty decent. He can attack a good amount of times of 14 and block 10 times. He can also block a good number of blaster shots. Another good thing is the fact that he regenerates his stamina pretty quickly. Now is abilities. Darth Maul has some of the weaker abilities in the game against heroes, but they do enough damage to be good against infantry. Similar to Luke, Maul's abilities are a bit more hit and run. He gets in, does a couple dashes, throws his lightsaber, and then does a couple of lightsaber swings. This is the best way to deal with infantry, but it doesn't work as well against heroes. Against heroes, he needs more patience, and he needs to pick his time to attack and pull off ability combos. Darth Maul's left ability is Furious Throw. It does 85 damage per hit, which can be up to 2 if you hit your target on the first throw and on the return. It does a total damage of 170, which is enough to one-shot all infantry except heavies, but with star cards the number goes up to 150 damage for a total damage of 230. Its range is 20 meters, but with star cards that does go up to 30 meters. It also has a decently small cooldown of 8 seconds, which can be reduced to 7.2 seconds with star cards. For my keynotes on this ability, your block does go down when you use this ability. This makes you vulnerable to everything, so try to activate your ability from a safe distance and make sure to keep moving when you throw the lightsaber. Also, try to hit the people with the lightsaber going both ways. When you do hit your target twice, it does double the damage and makes the ability much better. Especially do this if your opponent is blocking, since it can hit people through the block on the way back. Maul's middle ability is Chokehold. It chokes his enemies then throws them away. This ability isn't nearly as good as Vader's ability, but it can be useful at times. I don't use this ability much, especially in trooper game modes. It does 77 damage, but can be increased to 107 with star cards. The throw distance can be doubled with star cards. It has a decently big area of 15 meters, and it has a cooldown of 18 seconds, which is pretty long. For my keynotes, it's like the throw where it lowers your block, so I don't use this ability against more than 3 infantry and against heroes that are close to me. To get in another hit after you use this ability, you can quickly use multiple dash attacks and a lightsaber throw. Without that, you will have no chance to get to your enemy before they get up. This ability is best used as a finisher since it throws your enemies far away and it can be hard to catch up to them. Maul's right ability is Spin Attack. This is a quick dash forward that does 100 damage to anyone it hits. This ability does deflect blaster shots, so you can get in an extra damage using that. The area of effect is 15 meters in a straight line, which is bigger than any other dash in the game. Maul can do 2 of them in quick succession and go to 3 with star cards. The cooldown is 5 seconds per dash, but that can get lowered to 4.5 seconds, but that can also get raised to 5.5 seconds with the third dash star card. For my keynotes on this ability, this is the base of Darth Maul's other abilities. What I mean is after you use this ability, you can get in a quick lightsaber throw, choke, or lightsaber swing, allowing each of those things to one-shot others. This ability also works great for closing the distance on someone since it's really hard to hit you. It's the same thing for escaping a place because you can go far and you can't lose much health. Now for Trooper game modes. Darth Maul, while not always having the best stats, can tear it up on the Battlefront. His speed and abilities also make him pretty beginner-friendly when it comes to doing well with him. He doesn't have many weaknesses when it comes to playing in these modes. So now I'm going to go over my best tips for Darth Maul in Trooper game modes. These tips are going to be the same for pretty much any hero, but it's good to hear them. Use your abilities to deal damage whenever you can. His abilities have short recharge times, so don't worry about wasting them. Also make sure to use his movement to your advantage. Use his dashes to close the distance on people and his speed to find some cover. This is also another great reason for you to move around the map more, which will help you maximize your kills. One big thing to watch out for is heroes, since Maul isn't built for hero-to-hero combat, so when there is a hero around, he's not going to be the best to deal with them. He also isn't great for pushing an objective, so leave that to Grievous, Vader, and BB-9E. Maul has some good start cards, and there are multiple good ones for you to use, but in my opinion, there is a best loadout. The first card is Lightsaber Defense, which gives Maul 16% damage reduction against blasters. This extra health is really useful. When you're at full health, your health will be at a solid 812. The second card is Flow Motion. This gives Maul 1 extra spin attack. Maul's spin attack is a great ability and is useful in every situation, so having an extra spin attack is great. The third card is Accelerated Throw, which gives extra damage to Darth Maul's throw, allowing it to one-shot heavies. I find it that I can hit 2 hits on people most of the time, which means I can do a lot of damage. So once you start hitting people 2 times, you can do a lot of damage quickly. The final thing is the best maps for Darth Maul. The first, of course, is Naboo. Naboo is good for every hero, but for Maul, it just works especially well. The second is Hoth, which the layout of each phase works well for Maul's abilities, and he can move through them easily. The third one is Tatooine, which just the way the buildings and the layout is similar to Naboo, and Maul can go through each of the buildings in the alleyways really easily. Now is Darth Maul in hero modes. This is an area where Maul is pretty weak, simply because of his lower health and small damage output. Maul's health is below average, and there are plenty of other heroes with better regen. Maul's lightsaber damage also isn't the best, but it's not too bad. His main issue is his abilities. None of them do very much damage to heroes, especially when you compare his abilities to other heroes. He has no knockdowns that can easily get more damage, and you have to get his abilities just right to do some good damage. But there certainly is hope. My first tip is to take advantage of Maul's speed. With this speed, he can track down heroes that are running away, and he can make it hard for people to hit him. Maul is actually pretty good for 1v2s, since his abilities allow him to quickly move around and not have to get too close to his enemies. So that's a great example of how Maul's movement can help you, and will make a big difference once you get it down. The star cards will be mostly the same, since his Trooper to Hero playstyle doesn't change much. The first important one is Flow Motion. This once again gives Maul a third spin attack, which is a great ability. The second card is Accelerated Throw. I find the extra health to Maul's saber throw is really nice. The third card is Fool Me Once, which lowers Maul's ability charge by 10%. It's not a huge difference, but it's nice to be able to use your abilities a bit more. The last part is heroes to watch out for. The first one is Rey. Her mind trick and dash can be deadly against Maul. The best way to counter this is to just spin away every time she uses her dash and her mind trick. The second hero is Anakin. Anakin's abilities are pretty strong against Maul. Once you use your saber throw, you are exposed to Anakin's abilities, and it's easy to take a lot of damage. It's also hard for Maul to counter Anakin's abilities, which almost every other hero can do. The third and final hero is a blaster hero, Han. Han can be taken down pretty easily, but against a good player, you need to use your abilities in the right combo for you to do good damage against him. His abilities can just smelt Maul, so it requires some skill to beat a good Han player. But that is all for my Darth Maul hero guide. I hope you learned something and you can now play Maul better. As always, see you guys next time. Bye.